Hello and welcome to another video. So I'm here today to show you a flip through of my B6TN setup. Something that you'll find when I post my 2020 lineup is that I am moving into a B6TN for at least the beginning of 2020. And I've planned to do this for at least the first 6 months because, as you'll see, I'm buying inserts instead of printing my own for this one. So like I've already bought all those inserts, so I need to use them. I stopped using the bullet journal, not for any particular reason. It was fine. I just wanted to try something different. I did finish my bullet journal, so I was in a yellow Leitrim, and honestly I had maybe 1 more month's worth of pages in it, and I was going to do December in my bullet journal and then move on to this Traveler's Notebook setup, but then I got my inserts in and was really excited just to try it out, so I didn't end up doing December in my bullet journal. I just jumped straight into this, but that's okay. It wasn't that really that many pages, so this is gonna be fine. Another thing you'll notice is that the insides and my cover don't match at all. I currently have 3 B6TN covers and none of them match the setup I wanted. This was as close as I was going to get, and honestly it doesn't bother me that much. Because I was planning to do a 2020 setup, I did not plan on having a Christmas setup. So the inside is Christmas themed, but I don't have a Christmas planner cover. When it comes to my setup, sometime mid-January, when I change setups, I will have a pink Printpressions B6 cover, and then I have pre-ordered a Villa Beautiful kit that I think would match very well. And there'll be like more coordination and stuff, but for now I kind of just threw this together. So let's get into it. My TN cover is a B6 cover that came in one of the GP Studio subscription boxes. I think this was August 2018. So I've had this for a while, maybe it was September. And I've actually never really used it. I got this cover right after I stopped using a B6TN. I used a B6TN throughout most of summer 2018 and then stopped. And so I didn't ever really use this cover, but I still had it. And it's this really nice floral pattern. I really loved the florals that went with this particular theme. And as you can see, I have it fairly simply set up. I don't like having lots of charms and things on the elastic. It gets in my way. I also don't like having lots of tabs and things. I never reference them, and it just looks cluttered to me. I don't like it. The only thing I did add is this little snowflake charm. And this did come with the TN kit, so most of what I've used in my setup is the Christmas TN kit by Scribble Print Co. that came out last year. And so I was actually able to get a really good deal on it because it had been discounted a year later. And now it's been discounted even more. So I bought it for like $12. It was originally like $25, and now I think it's down to $10. And it's a good deal, you get a ton of stuff. So yeah, you can use it for next year. I got this in time to use it for this year, and not very long either. I set this up maybe a week ago now, and it's going to be like there's a week until Christmas, but I'll use it through December and, like I said, probably midway through January. So let's get in it. It is not a reinforced spine, which is not something I've ever done. The 2 Printpression covers I have are reinforced spine, so that's new for me. And I have 5 inserts in here. So this is a 4-strand cover, and I'm using a jump band to use a 5th insert. And we'll get into that. The pockets are both on both sides, the front and the back, this large secretarial pocket. And I honestly don't like decorating the pockets either. Again, it just gets in my way. I don't use them for very much. I have here this Black Friday shopping freebie from the Coffee Monsters Co. that I used to kind of organize some of the things that I was doing and then never really looked at again. And then I have this random rose gold full box overlay from Scribble Print Co. that actually belongs in like my foil sticker album. I just don't have it in there because I think I was planning and I just shoved it in here for no reason, so that doesn't even belong in there. Alright, so the first thing I did when I knew I wanted to do a full setup and to have a B6TN is that I ordered dashboards from the Foxy Fix. I ordered 6 of them. I'm only using 5 right now, but I did decide to put one on every single insert. And that's mostly because I wanted the edges of my inserts to be protected. I didn't want the elastics to wear on them too much, so I thought that the vinyl dashboard would help with that. That's why there's also a glare going on right there. But yeah, and I've never used the Foxy Fix dashboards before. The last time I had a B6TN, I did order some dashboards from another Etsy shop. I don't even remember who anymore, and then I sold them when I got out of the B6TN, and so I had to buy a few more, and those were top loading, and I didn't like that. I've always liked how the Foxy Fix dashboards are side loading, and so I decided that I really wanted to get these for this setup, and I got them during their Black Friday sale, Black Friday / holiday sale. Oh my, that's my chair. It's kind of a weird stool thing. Yeah, so I got them during the Black Friday sale at 15% off. I did wait for that. I wanted to order them earlier, but then I thought, no, they're probably going to go on sale, so I waited. And my order actually came with this little swatch. I guess all orders from Foxy Fix come with a leather sample. And it's called Lush Delilah, and it's really weird because I've never had anything from Foxy Fix, really. I have a pocket TN that is mochi sugar leather. But other than that, I don't have a ton of Foxy Fix stuff because it's expensive. So I'm just excited to have this little piece because it's kind of cool to see what the leather's like. I don't think I even own anything that's real leather. Like, that's not the life I live, but it's pretty cool. All right, finally into the dashboard. And if I sound a little winded, it's because I haven't done one of these in so long. So I am winded. So the first thing I had to contend with was the fact that I really liked this Christmas tree. And it's on a piece of vellum, but I hated having vellum wrapped around my inserts. I don't know why. Vellum, acetate, all those things, I just hate it. I want my covers to be like flesh and like one distinct thing. So I actually cut the vellum out and put it inside the dashboard instead of wrapping it around, which I know most people will like wrap the vellum, but I hate it. I hate it. It gets in my way. So I don't like having like a layer and then another layer and then sometimes another layer and then my insert. I just want one decorated wraparound. So I did cut the Christmas tree out and I layered it over this red and white bow paper. And I slipped that in there. And then this is the back of the paper. So all of the papers from the Scribble Prints Co. TN kits are double-sided. And then I just added these little gingerbread man and hot cocoa die cuts. And this is a list monthly insert that I use for future planning. So I just jot down future events that I have. I don't really have anything for the latter half of the year right now. I just have some like school related things until the end of the spring. And yeah, I've started coloring it in, but I haven't done a ton of that either. And then on the back of that, I have this like gray, I think it's gray and white bow paper. And then on top of that, this journaling card that says 'tis the season to be jolly, and this little, what do you call it? Candy cane. And then I really like how this side came out. So this is an art print. And I got this in a fairy loot box. And it's of 2 characters from the book Serpent and Dove. I got it in the September box, I think. And so we have the main character Lou and then the other protagonist Reed. I think it's Reed, not Richard, Reed. And this was actually a much larger print that I had to cut down. And I was not 100% sure that I wanted to do that. If you look here, this is what a fairy loot print looks like. This is how big it was, and I cut it down quite a bit. But honestly, the rest of this was like a bit more of their clothes and like part of his shoulder, and then maybe like a little bit of her hair. So there wasn't a ton missing, and they were really close to each other. In contrast, I also really love this print, and I kind of wanted to put it in there. But these 2 characters are so far away from each other that if I did cut it, do you see how this is where that other print kind of ends. If I did cut it, I'd cut into like their backs, and it would feel like they were on the very edges of the print. And so even though this is one of my favorite fairy loop prints ever, I can't cut this down to fit in this B6TN without making the framing look kind of weird. But for this one, it actually wasn't a problem, and the framing looks just fine, and I was able to stick it in here. I was also more willing to experiment with this print because I didn't like Serpent and Dove that much. This is just a pretty scene, and it was also like wintry and Christmassy. Although, to be honest, I don't feel like there was anything Christmas related in Serpent and Dove, so I don't really know. Like, I guess it just happened in the winter. Yeah, there was snow, so I guess that's what happened. Then the sad part is that on the back there is technically a letter from the author, but I read it. I don't think I'll read it ever again, and I took a picture of it, so I'm not that sad about cutting it down. And for this in particular, it makes a really fun backdrop. Like, I really like how the writing looks with this like decorated edge, and it's kind of glowy. And so I used this as a backdrop for this wreath die cut, and I really like how this came out. And then we get into my like weekly insert, and I have this covered up because this is a dated all-inclusive from Lights Planner Action. This last one was also by Lights Planner Action. All my inserts are from Lights Planner Action. And I originally got the dated all-inclusive layout to D inserts for January, February, and March, so the first quarter of 2020. But then I realized that I really wanted to start my insert now, and it just so happened that the calendar for March 2020 looked exactly the same as December 2020. So this is actually a March insert, and I just put these stickers over it to cover the fact that it says March. And these stickers are from Planning with Kay and her bullet journal subscription situation. And this is the monthly overview. Again, I tried to make bullet journal stickers work for this because I am one of her patrons, and I honestly might have to just stop that because I don't use any of it anymore because I'm not doing bullet journaling right now. But yeah, so I used to say January up here, and I whited that out, put stickers. This is the monthly view. Then it's this like month on 4 pages situation. I'm not really using this habit tracker at all. Honestly, I hate the way I set it up. I don't like these colors, so I just haven't come back here. A few random things up there. And then you get into what the weekly view looks like. So it has this like overview section, which I really like, and then this week on 2 pages where it's like half-length columns, and then a dot grid section, a note section, and a to-do section. And I'll show you a blank one. So this is what it looks like, not decorated. See, it says March 2020 and April 2020, but these dates are actually, they work for December as well. And I'll go through this quickly, kind of what I've done. So here, this insert actually has a meal planner. Where is it? It looks like this, but I don't meal plan. And I tried it, but it just didn't work. We don't go shopping once a week. We go once every couple of weeks maybe, and we don't meal plan. Like, I don't meal plan day to day. We pick a couple of meals that we'll make in a particular week, and then because we're only 2 people and most recipes are for like 6 to 8 people or something like that, it lasts us a while, and we just eat leftovers. We cook, we eat leftovers for a couple of days, we cook, we eat leftovers for a couple of days, but how long a particular meal lasts us is imprecise. It depends on how often we go to eat in the dining hall, and whether we like any of the food in the dining hall. It depends on whether the dining hall is open, and if there's a break happening or a long weekend, and so it just doesn't work to meal plan like this for us. So we don't use it. And I covered it with this time tracker that I designed in Word and then printed out on sticker paper. And I whited out some of the most bold parts of the meal planner. So like these really dark parts, I whited those out, and then didn't care about some of the fainter lines. And when it's all filled in and all colored in, you can't really tell. So I like how that works. It's been working well for me. And then I started this dot grid page on the weekly overview. Here I used it for a packing list, but then here I decided to use this YouTube planner sticker. That doesn't really work. I don't use it. I'm very bad at planning for YouTube, so I put them throughout the whole month, but I don't think I'll use them again next month. I'll use this section for something else. And then we get into some of the weekly overview stuff. This was the week after Thanksgiving. And I like using these inserts to plan for, like, I like using these inserts with leftover stickers. So I use a full sticker kit for my weekly memory planner in my Erin Condren, and then I use all the leftover stickers in here, and I really like how that works because I also get to use like these checkbox stickers and things, and like the extra fashion girls, sometimes they come in like multiple skin tones, and I'll use one for my weekly layout, but then I'll use another one in here because I don't really use this notes box for anything. And yeah, I like turning this little dot grid section into a habit tracker place and a next week section, so I find that very helpful. And then I've pre-planned a bit because I will be going on vacation for the holidays, so I won't be home with my planning stuff. I'll be spending a week in Dallas with my parents and then a week in Rhode Island with my boyfriend's parents, and so I'm just not going to be home. So I already put in all these stickers. Next week is the Creating & Co. readathon, and I'm so excited, and I used leftover stuff in here. And then this is the blank time tracker that I have. It just has this section for days of the week, and each column is 12 hours, and then the key is over here. This is a blank weekly overview, so like this is what it looks like right after I've decorated it, but before I've really written anything in. And I really like using these box stickers, especially when I don't already have things to put in. And because this is so far out, I didn't really have a ton to put in here, but I just wanted it to be decorated. So these checkbox stickers add decoration, but don't knock me down into anything in particular. And then I just put quarter boxes where I have some extra space. And these scallop stickers I use because I know this is Christmas Eve and that's Christmas Day. Yeah, and then that completes this month. There is another week, but I put my weeks in the month where it has the most days. So there are 2 days of December, but 5 days of January. So this week right here will actually be in my January insert. And someone like Annie Plans Printables, she does her insert such that you have like the 29th of November through like the 5th of January or something. And then the next insert starts on the 4th of January. But all of Light's Planner Action inserts have the entirety of the month in it. So the first of the month through the last day of the month, even if parts of those weeks fall in other months, which means that my January insert also has this week in it. So I just won't plan this week in this insert. I'll plan it in the next insert, which kind of bums me out because I won't have like a full complete insert because I'm not going to plan a week twice. And she doesn't do the thing where like she cuts off half of part of 1 month to put it in the next month or anything like that. She keeps the whole month in an insert. And that's helpful if you're just starting an insert, but if you've used multiple, like if you use them back to back, then you have multiple weeks. And so yeah, just something to be aware of. I don't mind it a ton, I just mind it a little bit. And then the back of these inserts has the like these monthly budget pages, and then it's the end of that insert. And so this is her new all-inclusive inserts. It's like super thick, especially with stickers in it and all the pages that comes in it, and I really like it because it's easy for me to kind of keep my monthly view and my weekly views together. And so yeah, I like that. Then on this dashboard I have this brown and white bill paper with this Merry Christmas pillow and a bit of washi strips. And then on the other side, some more paper, washi, and a bow decal. And then over here, just this really cool Christmas tree on one of the papers. and then the red and white bow paper again with a journaling card. And then maybe one of my favorite inserts ever. It's this Crushing It Daily insert. And it just looks like this. It has a section for a list section of goals and tasks, and then a dot grid section. But I use it to separate personal tasks and school-related tasks or work-related tasks. So these are all things that I want to do just in my life or at home or for my hobbies. And then this is stuff I have to do for work. Today it's Sunday, so I need to catch up on all my grading and prepare for Monday tomorrow. And I tried again to incorporate like my bullet journal stickers in this kit, but in this insert, but I just didn't like how that looked. I really like putting the day on one side and then the date on the other. I think it's very simple. It adds a touch of color. I get to do a bit of lettering, but it's not like a big sticker. And the way this layout is set up, it just works well for me. It's basically how I was bullet journaling for a while, except I used to have the top of my page be my schedule for the day and the bottom be a to-do list. But I've been at the school long enough and I know how the schedule works more or less, and I also don't look at that a lot. I found myself looking at the schedule that I keep on my computer during classes or posted on a little like corkboard thing at my desk at work, and so I wasn't looking at my schedule and my bullet journal very much, so I just stopped writing that down every day. And I use it. It's also nice that I only need to use this on the days that I need this much. So when I'm on vacation, I don't use it. When I'm on vacation for like Thanksgiving break or for Christmas break, this layout is enough for me. I'm not doing that much per day. It doesn't matter as much what I do each day. Whereas when I'm working, it does matter quite a bit. I have a lot of different things that just need to be done by a certain time, and so I like using these even on the weekends because I do a lot of catch up on the weekends. Sometimes I'm working on the weekends too, so I really like these. And so I still have like half of this insert left, and I won't really use it at all for the rest of December, so this is going to be half of January because we're on break during December. Then I have this gray and white paper again with this journaling card, which says candy cane wishes, mistletoe kisses. It's fine. I don't get a ton from the journaling cards or really decorating it at all. I just like having a bit of color, but I don't sit here flipping through my planner to look at the dashboards very often. And here I have this paper layered with this acetate that says don't get your tinsel in a tangle. And yeah. I think sometime if I had it in a TN setup that I've pulled together myself, it would be more meaningful, and I'd like to get something like that going, but I never have the time. Like I haven't been in a TN setup long enough to pull together different things. So I just get a random kit and put it together, but I'm working on that. Like these prints from Fairy Loot I really enjoy. Later you'll see I have some more of them. And I also want to collect things from new interests I have. Like I just watched all the Star Wars movies and I really like them. So I want to find some fun art prints of Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker. And I've been watching The Mandalorian lately, so I also want to find some cute baby Yoda things. And I'll pull all of that together sometime into kind of a non-seasonal bullet journal setup. Not bullet journal. I keep saying bullet journal because I'm used to being in a bullet journal. But a non-seasonal TN setup. But for now, this Christmas one just keeps my TN from being too plain. And then on this dashboard, we've got the red and white bow paper with some washi tape and a girl journaling card that I cut down. And then on this side, we have acetate layered with another paper and this gingerbread house die cut. And then over here we have an undated insert, and it's her collaboration with the Planner Fairy, I think. Let me check. Yeah, with the Planner Fairy, and it's their mental health notes insert, and I'm finding that I really like this. So you open it up and it's got just some random doodles that I've started to color in, some anxiety affirmations. It has this like monthly view, which I've used just to mark the days where I'm working and I'm not working. So when I'm on duty in the evenings, and I didn't have duty on the weekend any of these days, and then when I have a break, because like when things are particularly stressful and I'm working a lot in the evenings and I don't have as much time to myself, that is something that affects my mental health. So I want to put that in the mental health insert. And then they have this monthly pep talk with things like my intentions, why I remain focused, things I love about myself, happy thoughts, and self-care ideas. I filled that out at the beginning of the week. Then it has this column with something you can decorate, weather at the top, activity at the top, a mood tracker, a meal tracker, a hydration tracker, and then a little notes section that I use to journal. And I've been keeping up with that quite a bit. We have this healthy habits section down here, a sleep tracker. I was on vacation this day, so I got lots of sleep. I started working over here, and you can see that my sleep dramatically fluctuated. I didn't get any sleep on Tuesday this week because I was coming back from being on vacation and my sleep schedule had gotten all topsy-turvy, and so I wasn't sleepy early enough in the evening, but still had to wake up early the next day. So I got like no sleep, and then I took a nap, which is what that little check X mark means, so I don't always do that. I don't use the next week section or the self-care section at all really, but that doesn't bother me. I get a lot from the section and the sleep tracker and the healthy habits. Then there's this little doodle that I like to color in every week, and then a weekly reflection with mental notes, weekly win, a favorite memory. And then next week I'll focus more on, this is what last week looked like. Today is Sunday. Again, I'm working and my sleep is not great. I'm not very good at going to sleep when I need to. And then another coloring page, and then the weekly reflection for this week, which I haven't filled in yet. I've set up part of next week, so I've colored it in. And I was a little confused about what this habit tracker box was, or this mood tracker box was supposed to be. Like, what are these little like sausage things on the sides? And it's actually supposed to be a fairy, so these are fingers and like the wings of the fairy. And I assumed that the fairy was hiding behind this little like poster that they're holding up, but there's like this whole set of collaboration stickers supposedly in the Planner Fairy shop, but I haven't been able to find them, where you can get like little fairy heads that fit right there, and then there's like a fairy holding up a sign. And I'd really like to find them someday, but I can't get into her shop. I don't know if she's closed right now, if she'll open again. I don't know anything. But for now, I just color in the box from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how I drank the day, and then a little word that summarizes the day. And I always like color in the line where it's 8 hours of sleep, because technically that's how many you're supposed to get. And then I know if at a glance that it was like above or under that most of the week. And then I colored in this page again, next week's weekly reflection. And then before I leave on vacation, I will probably also set up this week. And then color this in. And another weekly reflection. And then it has this like breathing exercise over here, another coloring page, more affirmations, and then at the very end, there are a few lined pages, which I'll probably use to journal in at the end of the month. And I really like this insert, and it's undated, and I used it all this month, and I have another one, I think, because I only bought 2 at first to see if I liked them, but I do really like them, so I bought like 4 more during the Gold Friday, Black Friday, 25% off sale thing that like Planner Action did at the end of November. So I'll be using this in 2020. And then I have this brown and white bow situation here with a couple more die cuts. My dashboard setups are super simple. I don't like adding lots of things. I especially don't like tactile things. Like some people like to add 3D elements, like 3D bows, jewels, pop out things. I hate them. They get in my way. I don't want to, like, for things to get caught when I'm paging through my bullet journal or my traveler's notebook. So yeah, I have this paper. I trimmed down this bow journaling card and then added a few strips of that acetate. And you can kind of see how I used the double-sided tape here, and you can see the imprint of that. It's not completely transparent, but it doesn't bother me that much. On this side, I have a paper, and then I have this tarot card from the fairy loot boxes. They always come with 2 tarot cards. I do not do anything at all with tarot cards. I don't know anything about them, but I'm like quite skeptical of them. I don't do anything involving them at all, but they are very nice pieces of artwork, and so I do really like the way this one came out. I especially like the roses in the background. I don't know what this means. I don't know who this character is. Every few months, the fairy loot boxes will have tarot cards with characters from certain series, and they alternate those series throughout the year. And I believe these characters are from the Shatter Me series, but I haven't read that yet. I read the first book in high school, maybe even middle school, and then I never continued the series. So I don't know who these characters are, but maybe sometime I'll read it. On the back of this dashboard, I have these gray and white bows layered with some more paper, acetate, and a cutout journaling card. And then this insert here is a plain dot grid insert. I don't even know if you can see the dot grid. It's a very light gray. And I'm using this to supplement what I don't get from TN, or what I lost in my bullet journal setup. So this is where I'll keep long-term collections, and I haven't really set any up except for this swatch page for my Crayola Super Tips, because I do use those quite a bit, and I have them all labeled, but I didn't have my swatch page with me because my other swatch page is in my bullet journal. I'm not carrying that around anymore. And that paper was also more yellow than this one, so the colors show up differently. And I'm doing a lot more coloring in this, especially with setting this up. And so I want to be able to see at a glance what colors I have, especially since the caps don't reflect very well what the actual color looks like laid down on a page. So I really like having the swatch page readily available. At some point, I'll add things like savings trackers, and really only savings trackers. I don't know what other collections I might want to add in the future, but for now, I just like having that there. The back of that, my last dashboard, where I have this bow die cut, and then this other paper and this other tarot card. These 2 tarot cards came together, so they both have the roses in the back, and I really like the roses. I think that makes it match this like Christmas setup, because the roses are green and red and everything else is green and red, even though nothing else matches. And again, I don't know who these characters are. I just like the look of this artwork. And I also really like that if you cut up the acetate and layer it in the dashboard itself instead of wrapping it around, I don't have to have the acetate on both sides of this insert, right? I can only have it on this dashboard, and it doesn't have to be on this other side if I don't want it to be. And so I also think that that lets me have more variation in this setup and the way things are laid out. So I also quite like that. And then I have nothing at all in this back pocket. Again, I don't like decorating the pockets or doing anything to them. Something that I don't think is showing up quite right is that there's some weird ink bleeding or spotting or something happening to the cover, and I don't know what that's about. There's like some weird transference happening, and I don't know where it's coming from, or if maybe it looked like that at the beginning and it was over a year ago and I just don't remember. But yeah, and that's the end. This is getting some wear and tear. The spine is getting creased. The ink is rubbing off with these flowers right here. So this is not like the most durable cover in the world, but I will also definitely be switching my covers out a lot because I like it. I will be collecting more covers because I like being able to switch them out. So right now I have this one, a pink one from Print Passion, and a peach one. Actually, I'll just go get them. So I also have this pebbled pink And this is from his most recent ready to ship sale, and I feel like you can't even see the pink very well. I think my lights are washing it out too much, but without them there are shadows because the ceiling light in my room right now is just not good. But it's like this ballerina pink, and it's pebbled, so it's textured, more textured than his standard covers. And then over a year ago, the first cover I ever bought from Printpression is this one. It's a peach and cream discontinued cover of the very smooth vegan leather, and I did have it set up once, so there are these vinyl pockets, and this is a wide setting with 6 elastics. And what I found about this is I actually didn't like having 6 elastics, because even with 6 inserts in here, depending on their thickness, it doesn't really bulk up the spine enough. You have to layer it with lots of stuff, and as I've mentioned, I don't like layering it with lots of things. But I find that with 4 elastics and 1 jump band, I get 5 inserts, but the spine is narrower, so my notebook is more filled and not as squishy. I don't like it to be as squishy, but I also don't want to have superfluous inserts in there just to bulk it up. When I was using this one, I actually had a couple of jump bands, and at the end I was just trying to stuff it with inserts, but wasn't necessarily using all of those inserts, and so this wide setting doesn't really work for me, but I still have this cover. So these are all the covers I have, but Printpression has been doing a few more frequent releases. There's still a lot of these ready to ship covers, and so I'll probably get another one sometime. But this is the one I'll be moving into next in the beginning of 2019. I'll probably keep this set up for a couple of months. And then Aura Estelle is also going to restock their B6TN covers, and I really like the Graphite Hibiscus. Hers are super expensive though because they're real leather, so I don't know if that will happen, but I'm aware of it, so I'm hoping that I can save for it by the time that happens and add that one to my collection. And that is my flip through. This is the setup I'm working with. I don't have anything at the top. I did have some bookmarks and like bows and stuff up here, and then I took them all out and never put them back in because they got in my way. So I just kind of flip to where I am. It's not that like tedious. Actually, this insert's not put back right. I don't have it through the middle. There we go. I took it out earlier to color in for this week. Okay, so that is my current TN setup. It took me a while to film this, but now it is done, and yeah. So I hope you've liked what you've seen. I'll keep you up to date on how this like progresses, and I will see you next time. Bye.